Why is it that when you're supposed to play flats, like in the Two Grenadiers or in the Gavotte from Mignon, it just doesn't sound into no matter what you do? So in this video, I'm going to cover the reasons why this is the case, and I'm going to show you some exercises to fix the issue. So make sure you have your violin ready, tuned to 441, and let's get started. Flats tell us that we have to play some notes half a step lower than the original pitch. When this is first introduced in the Suzuki books, we refer to this new finger pattern as the fourth finger pattern. And in order to understand the challenge of this finger pattern, I'm going to quickly review the first three. Firstly, good intonation always begins with a good posture, so make sure that your feet are in plank position, your knees are soft, you tuck in your belly button, you open up your chest, you relax your shoulders, and you bring your violin up, turn your head, relax your arm, and make sure that your left hand is relaxed. Now, the wrist also needs to be relaxed and resting on the arm bone, so you don't want to have it either this way or that way, but always resting. Okay? Now, I placed lines on my violin to make it easier for you to understand what we're doing. But the lines represent the first finger pattern. This one. And it's the finger pattern that you practice from the beginning through twinkle variations through to the perpetual motion, only on the A and on the E string. Now the reason for this is so that you get plenty of repetition for the first finger pattern, because it is the most important one. It is the most important one because it creates the hand frame from which all other finger patterns are built. So the first and the fourth fingers stay the same in the first three finger patterns. Now, when we go to the second finger pattern, we start by placing the fingers in the first, and then you lift your second finger and you bring it down to your first finger. This is the second finger pattern. Now, you learn this in Suzuki Book 1 before the etude with the G major scale. I'll play the second octave where it occurs. So that you can play the etude. And the remaining pieces in Book 1, because they're all in G major. Now, let's find the third finger pattern. You start by placing your fingers in the first, and now you release your third finger and reach up to the fourth. We say third finger high. Now, this one. So it sounds like this. And it doesn't occur very often in Book 1, but in this place in Menuet 2, you'll find it. Or in the Gosse Gavotte, third finger high here on the G string. Now, the fourth finger pattern is very different, because for the fourth finger pattern we have to place the second finger low, the first finger low, and the fourth finger low, and the only finger remaining in the first finger pattern is the third finger. So the third finger is our anchor. But now you notice that the first finger low actually brings the first finger out of the hand frame, and the fourth finger has to squeeze into the hand frame. So this causes a little bit of trouble if your hand frame isn't stable to start with. So again, if you're not clear on what finger patterns are what, or your wrist is doing funny things, I highly recommend that you simply work on that first before moving on to the fourth finger pattern. Now, the most common mistakes with the fourth finger pattern are the following. By pulling back your first finger, you pull back the other fingers. Or when pulling back the first finger, this happens with your wrist. Or instead of pulling the first finger back, you pull the entire hand back and now are technically in the half position, which means that all of the fingers will now be a half step lower. So let's get to work and practicing some good habits to overcome this challenge. The first one, you begin without the violin. And we're just gonna see what the first finger is doing. So we need to pull the first finger back like a slingshot. Okay, so you pull it back and then you relax it. You pull back and relax. And now I recommend touching the third finger with your thumb to remind your third finger that it's the anchor, and make sure that everything is relaxed. And then you pull back and relax. And you do this a few times, as often as you can, whenever you have a little time, be it on the bus, in the car, waiting for something. You just do this until it feels really familiar and easy. Okay? Good. Now we'll do it with the violin. And again, always make sure you have good posture. Just do a little scan, your feet, your knees, your belly button, your chest, your shoulders, arm is relaxed. And now we're going to place the first and the third finger on the lines. I call this combination the fork. And now we're going to release the pressure of the first finger and glide it back, and then put a gentle pressure back. Now observe that your fourth finger and your second finger are hovering over the strings. Now release the pressure of your first finger and glide it back. And press down gently. Okay, again, we'll do this a few times. You release pressure, you glide, gentle pressure, release, glide, gentle pressure, release, glide, gentle pressure, release, glide, gentle pressure. Okay. Now, let's bring the first finger down once more. Keep it there for the next exercise. In this exercise, we're going to teach our third finger to stay over the string while it lifts. Okay, so you lift it and make sure that it stays over the lines, and you drop it. You lift and you drop, you lift and drop, lift and drop. And you just do this until it feels really, really easy. Okay, good. Now bring your first finger back into the fork position. And now get your bow, as we're going to add the bow to this exercise. We'll just play the first twinkle rhythm to make it easy for the right hand. Okay, so fork is ready. Lift and keep the finger hovering. Now drop, glide back, play, and lift. Drop and glide, lift and play, 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 and last drop. Now, the last exercise is learning how to play the B flat major, which is the most important scale for this fourth finger pattern. Now, there are several elements within the scale that are important, and it begins with the preparation. We begin with the fork. You pull your finger back to low position. You lift your third finger, make sure it's hovering over the line. Place your bow on balance point, and now let's play the first twinkle rhythm again. Now second finger comes in its low position. Third finger on the line. Fourth finger low. Stop. Now we need the fourth finger pattern on the E string again. So you bring your first finger on E string, and now when you lift your other fingers, make sure they hover over the string. Do a string crossing and play. Second finger low. Third finger on the line. Fourth finger low. Now we're going to play it back down, and with each lift, make sure that you hover over the string. Lift, 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 stop. Now when you are supposed to play your fourth finger low, we need to do this very important step of placing the third finger first, then the fourth finger, and then the string crossing. Lift, lift. Your other fingers should be, your second and your first should be on the A string, and lift. I recommend practicing these exercises for a week or two, perhaps even longer, until that fourth finger pattern is really solid. If you enjoyed these exercises and you found them helpful, please remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video and share it with a friend, and comment below. I love hearing from you. So with that in mind, keep up the good practice and see you next time.